Hey guys, Victor33 here. Today I got something special for you. So lately I've been shooting a pistol that I picked up a while back, and today I'm going to do the actual talking portion of the review. Now this is the Shadow Systems MR918 Elite. I tell you what, man, I've had this pistol now for about 5 months, and in that 5 months I've put 10,000 rounds and some change through it, and I've come to a few realizations with this gun. Overall, it is a very high quality firearm for what you're paying for. You know, a custom Glock 19, you know, that's got the milling and the serrations and all the custom features that this one has, it's going to set you back, you know, in a neighborhood of $2,500 probably. This firearm I picked up with my own money, and I paid full price for it, no discounts, and I think I paid about $900 for it. I immediately added the Streamlight TLR1 HL, and I added the Trijicon RMR. So Shadow Systems has done a lot of really good work with their frame modifications that they've done. This is a proprietary frame that they've designed and developed, and I'm a huge fan. It fits your hand well. They've managed to wrap the texture all the way around the grip of this thing, and it is probably somewhere in between sandpaper and a more rubberized texture. So not too aggressive, I mean, it's not aggressive enough. It's just in that perfect zone where it eats into your hand, but it doesn't destroy the skin on your hand, and it doesn't destroy your cover garments if you're concealed carrying it. They've done a great job on the texture of this frame. The back straps are something else that I'm really a fan of. So these interchangeable back straps here, actually, instead of like most pistols, they change the thickness of the grip. These actually change the angle which the gun points. So you go from a 1911 on up to the neutral to a more high muzzle Glock orientation as you change out the back straps. And that I'm a big fan of, coming from being a Glock shooter. I actually did not choose the Glock angle. I went with the neutral angle. It was much more natural to my hand than either of the other two more extreme options. It was great. This firearm also comes with the optional magazine well that comes with every firearm that ships. And it also includes Magpul magazine. All right, so talking about the trigger on this gun, it is a metal, I believe aluminum, machined trigger. It is definitely a step above a stock Glock trigger. Just ensuring your gun is clear. This trigger, as you pull the trigger on it, it kind of, there's some mush, there's some take up there in the beginning, and you hit a wall, which is very predictable. Every single time you hit the wall in the same spot. You pull through it, there's a little bit of roll, and then it breaks. So it's not as necessarily as light as I would like, but it is extremely predictable. So what that allows you to do is allows you to come out of the holster, stack the trigger, you hit that wall, settle your sights, and take that one precise shot if you need to. So it is, I would equate it kind of to being, yes, it's a striker fire trigger, but I would definitely equate it to being more of a two-stage kind of military. If you pulled an M16 or an AR-15 two-stage military style trigger, that's kind of what I would equate it to. There's a very distinct take-up, followed by a wall that you kind of roll through, and then a break. So it is definitely a very functional trigger. Yeah, so the only issue that I have with this firearm in 10,000 rounds, I had one parts breakage, and that was actually the striker. The nipple part of the striker, the part that actually impacts the primer, disappeared. I contacted the company at, I believe it was 12:04 p.m. on a Thursday. I left a voicemail with them. This is in the middle of a pandemic. There's a lot of the coronavirus, social distancing, quarantining, all that stuff going on. And the vice president of the company called me back personally and asked what the issue was. When I explained it to him, he seemed extremely shocked, and he told me that he was going to call the warehouse and see if there was somebody there to ship me a part. He said if not, that he was going to go in himself so he didn't have to expose one of his employees unnecessarily. He called me back to tell me he was headed on his way in. And within 10 minutes of that phone call, I had a shipping notification through UPS. At 11:40 the next morning, UPS was handing me a package that Shadow Systems overnighted on their own dime. And when I opened it, there were 2 complete striker systems in there. And there was also some assorted, patches and ink pens and stuff like that. The vice president that I talked to told me that their strikers are something they've never had any issues with the exception when they had some interfacing issues with Brownell's brand of aftermarket slides. Other than that, they've never had any issues with their strikers, and he seemed genuinely shocked. And he told me that if it happened again in the next couple thousand rounds, they wanted to replace my entire slide just to be safe. That said, I finished out the 10,000 round review with no other issues, and I'm running the striker that they provided as a replacement. And they did not know I was doing this review. I have not told them. I have not had any communication with them other than with the part about the striker. So as far as they know, I'm Joe Blow, gun user, and that was the type of service that I received from this company. Simply because of that kind of service in my mind is pretty rare in this industry. And I would continue to buy from them. They did have a parts breakage. I'm not going to hide that fact, but it also was not a low round count gun at that point, and it happens. Sometimes there's a metallurgical flaw you just can't see, so I'm not going to beat them up over it, but I will include that in the review, as well as their customer service that they use to correct the issue. So kudos to Shadow Systems. I had a blast making this video. Thanks for following along. I did include a link to this video down below. Overall, I think this pistol is a great value for your money. Shadow Systems has tried to one-up themselves, and they've released the MR920, which does show several improvements over this one. That's the next pistol I'm going to try and get my grubby little mitts on if I can try and convince my wife to come up off the money. So follow along and see if I'm successful. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the range next time. Stay safe, shoot straight.